This is second day of daily pabad, where we will be analyzing the news articles and we will also identify the important ideas from the various newspapers which can be related to the public administration optional. And today we have selected the topics from Guardian newspaper and also the business line because Hindu does not have a article which is related to the public administration. So today we are going to analyze and understand two articles which was mentioned in Guardian and also the Hindu business line. We will analyze and connect it with the syllabus, and also we will identify how to answer the questions from previous year sessions. So let's go through the content. So the first idea is what we are going to do. We are going to identify the news article. We will then understand the relevance in public administration syllabus. We will go through the key points and finally how to apply in the previous year questions. And the first article that we are going to focus is evolution of IAS. Evolution of IAS, which was mentioned in the Guardian newspaper, the Daily Guardian. Evolution of the IAS. And in this article, this is actually evaluating how the IAS as a department or how IAS as an institution developed and how it is been working in the government organization and also how it is going to be in the future. This is a very good article, must read article. Do go through this article. This is very important. And what is the relevance of this topic in your syllabus, or what is the relevance of this article in the public administration syllabus? The first thing is evolution of Indian public administration, paper 2 chapter 1, and also the changing role of collector, that is paper 2 chapter 7, district administration, and also scope of public administration with this introduction, that is paper 1 chapter 1. These three articles or these three topics in the public administration syllabus is directly correlating with the ideas of the given article. So paper 2 it can be related. Similarly in paper 1 also this can be related. And the key points that you should be understanding from the article is that during the days of Raj, that is British Raj, bureaucracy was a tool to perpetrate a regime that could enable the rulers to collect revenue. That is, it is police Raj, revenue based governance is there, and the primary objective of district collector or IAS officers is to collect the revenue and maintain the law and order, which to subserve the economic interest of crown. This is equivalent to the police Raj concept of British period. And next one is the entry to the service was restricted to British. Only after 1900s entry of Indians were allowed, and also the doors were finally opened to the locals or the Indians by the process of recruitment that no many Indians could afford to give it a try. And also with the dawn of independence, the recruitment system underwent a change and did the eco-political environment. That is on the strong recommendation of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, IAS and IPS was retained. He considered it as the framework of Indian system. So this is the timeline. Understand the timeline. I will also share the PDF of this article. That is 1854. The civil servants were nominated. Then 1855, 67. Then IPS. This is related to the IAS. Then related to IPS and also related to IFS. In the initial phase, all these are primarily given to the British only, and after that, as the series of reforms happened, the civil service become more and more open to the Indians. Initially, Satyendra Tagore was added to Indian civil services. Similarly, the simultaneous elections were held in 1921. Similarly, 1922 IAS examination was held in India, and also 1920, the case of IFS 1920 was the first date or first year that through which Indians were also recruited to the foreign service. And another idea, that is, this article is actually discussing the evolution of Indian administrative service after the freedom. That is, after 1947, the bureaucrat underwent different types of reforms and changes. It includes, that is, bureaucrat gradually condescended from the ivory tower approach. That is, initially it is completely bureaucratic in nature. Ivory tower approach was there, and later stage it moved to the reality of Indian democracy, and different type of commitment. For example, in the period of Indira Gandhi, there is commitment to politics. Indira Gandhi openly suggested that the bureaucracy should be committed to the ruling government, and also there was an idea that committed to the constitutional commitment should be there. These ideas were initiated during the period of 1970, and what bureaucracy had done was the bureaucracy had to live with the stable autocracy and unstable political chaos of 1988. That is during the period of Indira Gandhi, and also after that the government or the bureaucracy had to stable or they swim through the changing scenarios. And with the development of LPG reforms, that is 1991 LPG reforms, what happened is that it changed to a pure regulator to a facilitator. That is the idea of NPM should be added here. That is the idea of, with the development of NPM, ideas of NPM, the system or the bureaucracy moved to an inspector as and a facilitator kind of arrangement. And the next one is the various conflicts. This is during the period of NPM 1990s, end of beginning of 1990s and the end of 1990s. The same happened during this period, and after that, with the development of 2000, we can see that the war between center or center-state federalistic relations or fiscal federalism or cooperative federalism, these ideas being initiated, and there are increased awareness among about their rights, and bureaucracy is playing much better accountable roles in the society. So remember that also. And similar to that, the private joining politics immediately after retirement is a major idea or major happening over the period of time, especially in the very recent time. And also this bureaucrats directly joining the politics is also affecting the objectivity of the Indian Administrative Service, and also it is also affecting the honesty and efficiency of Indian Administrative Service members. So remember this content, these are very important. And similar to that, we can also say that there is a re-emergence of debate on whether Indian Administrative Service has served its purpose or whether it was successful or not. That is, whether there is a requirement of continuing with the service. That is the question here. The answer will be the capability to evolve as a professionals. That is, the Indian Administrative Service should be able to develop as a professional service or a professional system of governance, or the petty temptations like politicians or political aspirations, corruption, etc. should be gone, and in that part the efficiency, effectiveness, and also the constitutional ideas should be replaced with these kind of temptation for temporary gains or so. And also in a market driven economy, they will survive only if they add value to the market and economy. That is also very much critical for the ideas of Indian Administrative Service. And the questions, the previous year questions that may be answered with the help of these ideas. The first one is Indianization of public service is a slow but steady process. You can mention about the timeline we have mentioned from the 1850s to 1920s. You can mention that. And also through the though India emerged as a sovereign state after independence, the administrative system remained the same as it was during the period, British period. Comment. This was asked in 2003. While answering this, you should understand the performance of IAS or IPS or IFS officers after the freedom. Remember that, and remember the contents we have mentioned, how the IAS or IFS officers changed, or the ideas of IFS officers were stable during the period, and what kind of changes it may require. So that is the idea that you should be mentioning there. And the final idea, district collector is a legacy of the British Raj and has largely remained insulated from the demands of contemporary professionalism. This was asked in 2014. The same idea is also mentioned in this article. Why there is a requirement for professionalism. This also mentioned that this district collector is very much similar to British Raj, and still professionalism is lacking in the system. So what you should do is that these are two different questions but similar in nature, because the previous year question you can observe that the majority of questions in public administration repeats itself in a different form. So you can add the content which was added by the article in relation to this in your answers. Definitely try to write the content which we have already mentioned. What is the issue, what are the issues, or how these issues can be resolved, and all this should be discussed in detail. This is the first topic. And second one, the CSS fund, mode of managing CSS fund. This is also very important. This is related to how the fund central schemes or centrally sponsored schemes should be managed. For that, the central has initiated an idea known as single nodal agency. This question is this topic is related to that single nodal agency. We will discuss in detail. Relevant syllabus going to understand is this can be related to fiscal federalism, again the reforms in financial management, a role of finance ministry in monetary and fiscal area, and also centrally sponsored scheme. And the key points that you should be following is center introduced single nodal agency known as SNA model in March 2021, which constitutes a major departure from then existing regime of fund released under centrally sponsored schemes. That is, this is a new regime initiated in last year, that is in 2021. The center has introduced an idea known as single nodal agency. That is, instead of multiple levels of approval, a single nodal agency was identified under the centrally sponsored scheme. What is SNA model? You should be understanding that also. That is, it is a major reform initiated where the central CSS funds or centrally sponsored schemes funds are disposed and how it is disposed, released, or monitored. So requires each state, this SNA model requires that each state to identify and designate an SNA for every scheme. For example, consider the MGNREGA or any other centrally sponsored scheme. The state must give a SNA. SNA should be identified in the scheme and it should be designated to that agency. And all the funds for that state in a particular scheme are now credited in this bank account. That is, and all the expenses by all other implementing agencies involved are affected from this account. That is, this is a single nodal agency that will be connecting with the centrally sponsored scheme. That is the idea. And all implementing agencies are to either operate directly from the SNA's account or open zero balance subsidiary account with drawing limits set by SNA. So consider this is centrally sponsored scheme. There will be an SNA and SNA will be connected to either to a zero balance account by implementing agency, or they can also directly take from the SNA. This is the standard model of SNA. Remember that. And also this has led to the funds being transferred to just very few accounts. Instead of different accounts, the number of bank accounts required become very low. That has resulted in better quality. And also the funds are released by central ministry to state governments accounts in RBI with a time limit of 21 days and 40 days for transfer of central and state share respectively. And also the utilization of 75% of central share and the commensurate state taken together. This is also another feature of SNA. These are benefits of SNA actually. Go through this also. And the significance is that this can actively for fund transfer. Fund transfer can be improved very efficiently, and also this can lead to the development of allocation of funds to the states on a timely manner and also greater efficiency as we discussed. And also it provides for accountability, tracking of funds, and in-time release of funds to the states. And the concerns here is that the flexibility is a concern here, and also we can say that the model does not facilitate states discretion. That is, state need to give a single nodal agency, so there is no discretion for the state government, and also there is an issue with the COVID-19. As COVID-19 increased, there is a issue of liquidity. Liquidity crisis is there, and state, if SNA model is applied or directly implemented over the period, it will definitely affect the discretionary aspects of every individual or every state. That is also another concern. And suggestions are that alternative options to the SNA model should be explored, and also similarly improving states cash flow management should be improved, and also freedom for the government should be there, and also this one size fit for all approach need to be relooked. There are also certain suggestions, and there are multiple questions from this topic, that is how the fiscal relations, center-state relation should be managed. For example, the main problem of center-state relation in India is bottlenecks in fiscal federalism. Wherever idea of fiscal federalism comes, you can definitely use this idea. Fiscal federalism, definitely try to use this idea. And also in relation to GST, yesterday also we have discussed about GST. Similar, the fiscal federalism, how it can be made efficient, or accountability can be ensured, transparency can be ensured. You can mention that. And also the promptly and clearly facts relating to financial conditions and operations of required as a basis of management. Substantiate the statement in the context of accounting methods and techniques in the government. This was asked in 2030. That is the methods that you should be using while answering the or while addressing the demand of states and center, how it can be utilized, or newer techniques that may be utilized while the fund of government is managed. Give that also. So these are the ideas that you should be following. So these are the ideas that you should be following while answering the question. Hope you got something, and keep in touch. Contact us on our official numbers. We will definitely help you out. Thank you all. See you next time.